Hello, I'm Alison, also known as A Frogget on YouTube. This is my first video, so a little bit camera shy. Maybe later on, if I get a little bit more confidence, I'll eventually show you my face perhaps, or maybe not. We'll see. I thought, what was I going to do today? It's an August bank holiday in the UK and typically it is raining. I was going to sit indoors and do some stitching, but I've actually managed to get some space in my craft room, which hasn't happened for a little while. I had a good clear out yesterday because the weather was lovely yesterday, and thought, I could perhaps do my very first video from in here. So excuse some of the mess that's up there still, that's to be sorted. So what was I going to show you today? Some money saving craft ideas, I thought, perhaps for my first video, and then I'll move on, hopefully, if this works out, to showing you some of my whips and some other ideas that I've got along the way. The very first one that is a work in progress on my storage system for my flosses. I've tried loads of different storage systems over the years. I've used and still got some of these plastic cases with various sort of Madeira beautiful threads on them, just sitting here in a box. Odds, there's a few DMC variegated. These were in the days when I was bobbinating everything. Actually, these came already supplied like that. But I had a few of these boxes. Decided that they weren't what I wanted to do, so I moved the bobbins into a folder and bought some of these when they were about. So this is actually leftover remnants from when I stitched the geisha by Leslie Tier, and I plan on actually stitching her again sometime. So I've left them all in here, ready to restitch at some stage, and they're just sitting there, along with charts, patterns, other oddments. As you can see, I don't throw anything away. Doesn't matter how small it gets and what's left, you never know when you need just that little bit of length. So no real system there. I've got loads of other Madeira skeins. Again, no system. They're all just on their cards, sitting in a plastic bag, along with a load of other braids. And I also have a box of all my DMCs. Not really doing a lot of anything, can never find anything that I want. Trying to rummage through this is a nightmare. So I thought to myself, what universal system could I use? And watching somebody else's video the other day, actually, they were using the Floss Away system. So I thought, oh, well, I'll order some of those. And then after looking at the Floss Away system, what it consisted of, I thought, actually, I might well be able to create that myself, perhaps a little bit of a saving, because I do like to make a saving where possible on everything that I buy, because I think for every saving you make, it's just a little bit more that can go towards your stitching and your stash. So I took a trip down to the local food store, which here is Tesco's, and I found these snack bags, which are almost a perfect size to the Floss Away system, and 100 of these cost me £2. So I actually bought several boxes of those, in the planning to file all of my threads. As you can see, they are slightly bigger. The Floss Away system, I believe, is the same size as the record card that I've got in here, which is about 5 by 3. And these measure up, I think, to around about 6.5 by sort of about 3 1/4 internally. which actually for me makes me a lot happier, because I don't like bending up my floss. As you could see with the box, I like everything to lay flat. I bobbinated it over the years, and it's just a personal choice. But when I've come to use the floss that's on the bobbins, I find if it's been sitting there too long, it's got several kinks in it, and I just prefer not to have those kinks while I'm stitching. I know they don't show when you've actually stitched on them, so everybody that does already have bobbins and is very happy with them, then that's fine. It's just a personal choice. And I found with these bags, I was to my joy, they actually fit a floss absolutely perfectly without any bend in it. So I was a lot happier actually than with not only with the money saving, but also the fact that my floss is going to sit there beautifully like that, and I can obviously get several multiples which are in the box on that. I then went and bought some record cards, as you can see there. This is multicoloured pack because I rather like the changes in those, and these were I think 80p for 100, and all I've done at the moment on them is just written the manufacturer, so in this case DMC, and the floss number. I think as I progress with these, I will probably put on their project that I've done with them, or whether or not they're already allocated for a project and kitted up. I'll just wait and see as this develops. So that's the bags, the record cards and how they store. I then needed something obviously to put them in. So whilst in Tesco's, I found this tub, and it actually says box with lid, 16 litre capacity, which was great until I got it home and then thought, oh dear, they're going to flop around everywhere inside. So I mentioned it to my husband, and he had some foam core in his art room. He's an artist and a painter, so has quite a resource of items, and he just trimmed me up a little piece of foam core, and literally we just taped it in there, which gives it a very sturdy and turns it into a sectional tub. And the floss bag actually fits perfectly in there, so I'm going to get a whole row there and another row there without them sort of moving all over the place. It'll be easier when I'm carrying them. I then thought, oh, that's fine, but then locating each of them in there is going to be fun. So I just bought myself a 10-part divider, and all I'm going to do is trim it down, so I might even be able to get 2 lots out of this, and then I'll just write the group of skein number at the top. So if it's sort of 300, all of the 300s in there, the 400s, 500s, etc. And that should hopefully make it a little bit easier to locate. When I actually work on my projects though, and I've got a whip, one of the reasons that I like to leave my floss lengthwise like that is because I do like still to use stitch bows. And for anybody that doesn't know what a stitch bow is, they're made by DMC. Not particularly that expensive for a pack of 10, I think is in here. And this is the folder that you then file them in. I kit up most of my kits and projects that I've done so far haven't had too many colours with them. I think about 30 something colours. I know when some people are doing the other projects you can have 80, 90 plus odd colours. So I'm not quite sure how it would work with a project so big. But for me it's been okay so far, and all I can do then is I'll just take them out of the bag, pop it on a stitch bow, put it into this file, and then with the chart as well, and then I'll have a complete project kitted up and ready to go, and I just work from that and take them out there as I need to. So that's the general idea. It'll be interesting to see how that develops, and perhaps I'll reblog on this later on once it's actually full, and I've probably got bored stiff at the end of it writing all the cards up, but we'll see. Hopefully that will progress. The other little project that I wanted to show you that I put onto Cross Stitch and Discuss 2 group on Facebook that I'm a member of was my frame. Obviously looks very much like the very popular frame that you can buy branded at the moment, and from what I gather is absolutely wonderful. Everybody's using them, and I think they're based in America. I haven't personally seen a UK supply yet, but I'm sure there probably is. But somebody else again posted up that they had made their own, and I thought, I like to save money where I can, and I do like to try and make my own things. I do enjoy my crafts, so I thought, let's give it a go. If it wasn't going to be too expensive, then it was certainly worth the try. If it didn't work out, then I was quite happy to go and purchase the branded item. All it is basically is I went to a local DIY store and bought myself some 22mm waste pipe, which is the inner part of the pipe here. It came in 2 metre lengths and was a grand total of 86p per 2 metre length, and I bought 2 of those. I then bought myself several packs of the corners, purely because I thought, oh, I'm going to make lots of little frames, not really actually thinking at the time that all I need to do was pop this one apart and pop some other sizes onto it to make it into multiple. So I really didn't actually need probably as many packs as I bought, but they were only 90p for 2 corners anyway, so £1.80 for the corners. 2 metres of tubing was grand total of £3.52 to make this frame, and this size is actually a 12-inch by 16-inch. I also have had enough to make 2 spare 12-inch tubes, so I could make this into a 12-inch by 12-inch or a 16 by 16, and had a couple of odd little bits of tubing left, just sort of for some spares or for some other sizes that I'm going to make. The only part I came across that made it a little bit more difficult, that I was a little bit concerned about, was these C-clamps that actually hold your material on. And the reason that I worried was because I didn't want it snagging obviously my material. So I went round to my brother's, who's a carpenter and joiner, and I asked him actually to run the pipe through one of his machines. So I did cheat a little bit, I didn't quite make it all myself, and I do have that wonderful resource running to my brother for help. I suppose you could do it with a sharp Stanley blade, but you need to be obviously very careful doing it, and a lot of patience to get it straight. And I'm sorry, patience isn't always my virtue, because I like things now. I don't like to wait, hence why I went ahead and did my own floss away bags rather than waited for some to be delivered in the first place. What I would say though with the C-clamps, they're great, or literally all it is just a slice through and then it parted naturally. I did stretch it out a little bit just so that they go over a little bit easier. If you're going to make them yourself, or try, make sure that you take off these corners, these sharp bits here. If you left them square, then they're going to dig into your fabric and they are going to split it and damage either your Aida or your linen or whatever you're using. And also it just gives you a little bit of a leader to sort of push onto your pipe. So you start by pushing it there and it will just pop straight over. So that's my other little money saving idea for today. I'm planning on going to buy some more pipe tomorrow after the bank holiday, and I am going to go and cut a lot more and make myself some more combination sizes of this frame. At that price it's worked out lovely. I've tried it with some fabric in and it works very well. It just happens that the project that I'm doing at the moment is too small to fit in the frame sizes that I've made, which wasn't the greatest of planning, but I was trying to get the most out of my pipe at the time and didn't really think it through properly. But yeah, I hope you like those 2 little money saving ideas, and just for me it just gives me that little bit more to be able to spend on my stitching stuff rather than my storage and my frames. Hope you like that. Hopefully I will blog again and get up the courage to maybe show my face on my next video. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to the next one. Bye.